Aloha everyone, and thank you for joining our training today. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today we are going to talk about how to use Moodle. And my name is Stephanie Moyer. I'm the Community Initiatives and Training Coordinator for the Hawaii Public Health Institute, as well as the coordinator of the Hawaii Public Health Training Hui. Organizers of this training are myself, and then behind the scenes we have Makamai Namahoe, our contracts, grants, and operations assistant, as well as support from our Hawaii Public Health Training Hui Steering Committee, which is made up of 14 members from various organizations. We'd like to thank our sponsors and partners for this training today, the Hawaii Public Health Training Hui, the Western Region Public Health Training Center, as well as the Public Health Learning Network. As a reminder, we will not be offering continuing education credits for today's training. As another reminder, we do record all of our trainings and they are available on the Hawaii Public Health Training Hui's YouTube channel. Lastly, just some housekeeping. I do ask that for any questions that you have throughout this training today, that you please utilize the chat or the question and answers box, and we will be sure to get those answered during the presentation. So before we get started on Moodle, I do want to introduce a guest that we have with us today, and I'm very fortunate that Eric from the University of Arizona, who is a Moodle wizard, I will call him, is joining us today to help answer any questions that you might have that I am not able to answer. So moving along with the training, what is Moodle? So Moodle is a learning platform designed to provide educators, administrators, and learners with a single robust, secure, and integrated system to create personalized learning environments. So why? You might be asking why the Training Hui is moving over to using Moodle. By creating a Moodle account, you will now have access to many other trainings outside of the Public Health Training Hui. So I know that many of our attendees do utilize our offering of the continuing education credits. And so by creating an account to access Moodle, you will have access to all sorts of trainings within our region, and you can access those either live or you can do self-paced trainings. A few things that I think that you will be very excited about on top of having access to other trainings outside of what the Hui is offering is that immediately following the live trainings, you will have the immediate access to the evaluation. Once you've completed the evaluation, you will then have immediate access to your certificate. So there will be no more waiting for myself to send you the link to do the evaluation and then waiting another week or so for me to create those certificates and email them out to you. So hopefully all of these benefits will get you excited about our transition over to Moodle. Now, where do you find Moodle? So Moodle is located with our partner organization at the University of Arizona. And I should say that we will PDF these slides and email it out to all of you. So you will have this link. And I'm gonna click on this and see if the screen share works. So hopefully you folks are still seeing my screen. So here we are, and we've landed on the home page for the University of Arizona Moodle site. So here is where we're gonna get started. And actually, I'm going to log out of my account so I can help show you. Okay, so once you click on that link, you'll notice that there are 3 different areas that you can choose from for trainings. Specifically for the Hui, we are going to be utilizing on the far left-hand side of the screen, you see it says the Western Region Public Health Training Center, View Courses. And so this is where the Hui's trainings are going to live. So before we can get started with accessing our trainings, we do need to create an account. So there's a few ways of doing that. Well, not a few ways of doing that, excuse me, but a few ways to access. So at the top of the screen, so this is the top right-hand corner, it says log in. So you can click on the login and it will prompt you to this screen. So as you can see, I have already created my account. I have a username and a password, but for many of you, this will be your first time utilizing Moodle. So you are going to follow the steps on the right-hand side of the screen. So the first thing that you'll need to do is create an account. And as you can see, following all these instructions, there is a button at the very bottom that says create new account. Before I click on that, I am going to kind of walk through all the steps. So first things first, you will click on that and you will create your account. Once you have filled out that form, an email will be sent to you, and you will, and this will be the email that you created your account with. So you'll go back into your email, and if you don't receive that email within an hour, there is a contact right here for you to email and let them know that you did not receive the email after creating your account. Also want to remind everyone that you do want to check your junk or spam folder just in case that email landed there. Within the email that comes to you, you are going to click on the web link included in that, and that will confirm your account. Once you've created your account, you will then have access to participating in all the trainings that are available within Moodle. So just so we can see what it looks like, I'm going to go ahead and click on the button that says create new account. So as you can see, it's auto-populating my information, but what you will do first is create a username and a password. You scroll down, you will then fill in some details, your email, first and last name, and where you are located. You will then complete the section on occupational information, so what state and county you're working in, address, profession, position, title, organization, and then department or division that you work in. The last section is some demographic information, asking gender, age group, and race. And then most importantly, you're going to click I am not a robot. And once all of that is complete, you will click on create my new account. So I do want to go back and just reiterate how I got here. So I'm going to go up to the top and click on the Western Region page. So this is the link that is included in the PowerPoint. And you will click on, oh, excuse me, I keep wanting to do that. Go up to the top right-hand corner. You'll click Login. Follow the steps on the right-hand side to create your new account. And then you will complete the form that pops up. Don't forget that once you complete this form, you will be sent an email, and you will need to click on the link in that email to confirm your account for Moodle. So now what I'm going to show you is all of the courses that you will have access to within the Western Region Public Health Training Center. So again, click on the link that is in the PowerPoint presentation. And let me see if I can actually put that into the chat box for you folks right now. So anybody that wants to follow along can do so. Okay, so now that link is in the chat if you'd like to follow along on your own computer. And I'm going to click on View Courses. And before I continue, I am going to go ahead and log in. I'm going back to the Western Region and clicking on View Courses again. Okay, so now that we are logged in and have created our account, I want to share with you folks a little bit about all of the learning content that is in Moodle. So there are a few ways of finding trainings, and the first way is if you scroll down and look on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see these folders under Western Region Public Health Training Center. And these are all the different categories that you can choose from when looking for trainings. Speaking specifically about the training hui, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see a folder titled Hawaii Public Health Training Hui, and that is where all of our trainings will live. If that is not so easy to read, then you can also choose from these boxes on the screen. And so again, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see our Hawaii Public Health Training Hui box. And I believe Eric will be adding our logo to this, so it'll be a little bit easier to spot once you're logged into your Moodle account. And this is where you would click to access our trainings. Let's go ahead and actually, I'm going to click in here, and what you are seeing is I have administrative, not properties, what is my word? I have access to create the trainings and webinar in Moodle. And so this will be a little bit different than what you see. And I do have the ability to switch roles, which Eric taught me. So I'm going to switch to a student view. So I do want to go over a few changes on switching from Zoom to Moodle. So the biggest change for you folks, on top of creating your Moodle account, will be that you will access all of our trainings via Moodle instead of Zoom. And I do want to clarify. So how things that we've done in the past is we would send you the flyer announcing our training. It would have a registration link, and then you would register for the training through Zoom. The trainings will still be viewed on Zoom. However, there is no longer a registration process. So when we advertise our trainings, there will be the training listed within the Public Health Training Hui's Moodle page. And then you will come here and this is where you will see the information on the upcoming webinars. I do want to apologize that this is just, I have it labeled as a test webinar as we are still confirming the details for our fall trainings. But hopefully this will give you an idea of what it will look like. So what will happen is, and I think I'm going to let Eric maybe talk a little bit more about this later, but so the training will be here listed, and there will be a way for you to enroll in the training. Over here, if you look where my arrow is, once you create your account, you'll have something that says My Courses. And so you can see these little folders, and these are the trainings that I myself have personally done. So when you are going to, or when you want to view one of our trainings, you will enroll into that training. And I do apologize, because of my settings in Moodle, you're not going to actually see that enroll in course button that you will have to click on. I do want to pause. Eric, is there anything that you would like to add in regards to enrolling in a course?
No, nothing that I can think of that you've left out.
Okay.
Just that to make sure that you are logged in when you try to access a course. Many people will come to the Moodle page, and they'll either go directly to a course page link that is then rejected because they're not logged in. So just make sure you're logged in. You don't have to create a new account, but always in that top right corner will be the login button, and yep, click it and log in.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Okay, so as you can see, once you've enrolled in that course, it will show up under your My Courses. And again, I apologize that I'm not set up to show you what that looks like today. What you will see on the courses will look very similar to this. There will be an introduction section that has the details of what the training is about, who the speakers are, etc. Next, you will see a box talking about training. Now, as you can see, it is restricted until the 28th of August at 11:50. Um, for those that have already marked your calendars, you may notice that this date is different, and I will be sending an email out to the WHOI. It was our save the date for August was the 21st, and I apologize, it was pointed out to me that that is Statehood Day, so we will be changing the August training date to the 28th. This is where you will access the live training. So you will log into Moodle, you will have added it to your courses. You will come here, and then at 11:50 a.m. on the 28th of August, the link to Zoom will go live, and then you will be able to click on that. This next section is what I talked about as far as why hopefully you will be excited about utilizing Moodle. So upon the completion of the live training, you will go back into your My Courses, you will click on our webinar, and then you will have access to do your evaluation. Again, no more waiting for me to send you that SurveyMonkey link. You will just come in here, you will complete the evaluation. Once that is completed, you will be able to print off or save your certificate. Again, hopefully that makes you very, very happy. No more waiting for me to create this and send it to you. As you can see, this is also restricted. So in order to download or save your, or excuse me, print your certificate, you will need to complete the evaluation. Another piece that I do want to remind you is, and it will be listed under certificate, is that those seeking nursing continuing education credits will still need to complete the nursing evaluation that is separate from the training WHOI evaluation. So that will remain the same. So there will be a link under certificate for those seeking nursing continuing education credits to complete the nursing evaluation for the University of Arizona. So what I want to do next is take you out of the training WHOIs folder and show you how to find other courses. So as I mentioned, another benefit of having Moodle is having access to many other trainings offered from all the partners within the Western region. So there's a few ways of doing that. I did mention that you can click on any of the folders listed on the left-hand side of the screen. Another way is to look at these boxes and see what topic you might be interested in, or just above those boxes, you can actually search for courses. So for example, if you are looking for a webinar on vaping, you can type that in and click go. And then all of the trainings that are available regarding vaping will pop up, and then you will have access to those. Let's go ahead and just take a look at Vaping 101. That was one of our trainings from last year. And this is what you will see when looking for courses. So again, as I mentioned, there'll be an introduction section talking about what, or it'll have the description of the webinar, what the learning outcomes are. And then this is a link. So if you hover over, you'll see that there might be some additional information. There might be slides to download and other handouts. So you do want to make sure to click on any of the links that are listed below here. Next section is the training section. So here we have a link to a video, and I will go ahead and click on that. And as you can see, it is taking us, or actually, I'm not sure you can see that, but it is popping up into, it looks like you can't see it, but it is opening a separate window to the How About You Public Health Training WHOI's YouTube channel so that you can watch that training. As I mentioned, you'll see these restricted buttons, or not buttons, rather, just it's letting you know that you have to complete the above before doing any of these. So as you can see, it says not available unless you've watched the training. So as you can see, there's a check box or a check mark in the box listed next to the training video. So once that is checked off, then that tells Moodle that you can then access the assessment. Now, this is a little bit different. So this is a training that happened in the past. So when they get added to Moodle, we do add on the assessment piece. And this is typically a 5-question quiz. So you would take the assessment. Once that's checked off, then you can come in and do the feedback evaluation. That'll get a check mark here. And then as you scroll down, you'll see the 2 options. So the first one is your certificate for completing this training. And then the second one, as I mentioned, is for the nursing continuing education credits. So you, again, if you're seeking the nursing CEs, you will need to do the assessment and feedback for the University of Arizona. I think that that is the main pieces that I really wanted to go over with everyone today. I do want to remind you, just again, as I mentioned, when looking for our courses, there will no longer be a registration via Zoom. So that is one really big change that we will be facing. So no more registration through Zoom. You instead, once you've created your Moodle login, you will find the course and add it to your courses. You will enroll in that course. And then once the link to the training goes live, that's when you will join us on Zoom for the live webinar. I do also want to remind you that we will still be sending out email reminders to everyone that has enrolled in the course via Moodle. And that email will come, we will most likely be sending a reminder out a day before and then 1 hour before, very similar to our reminders that have come from Zoom. So I want to, let's see, I don't see, let's check the chat. Doesn't look like I have any questions. I do want to remind folks that if you do have any questions, to please put them in the question and answers box or type into the chat. But I would like to ask, Eric, is there anything that you would like to add?
Nothing that I can think of at the moment. We're excited to have you guys add your courses. We've been adding archived versions of your presentations for a long time now, and so we've been happy to offer that. And now that you will be using it for the live portions, I think is going to be even greater for people affiliated with the HUI, because they'll be in the system and they'll have access to all of this course material that exists. Looks like we have a question.
Thank you. So the question is, once registered, does it give the option to populate our calendar? That's a very good question, and I will defer to Eric.
You know, I am not quite sure if it's an external calendar like Apple's iCal or um, Outlook, something like that. I know on in Mac OS, which is what I use, if there's a date and time on the screen, I can highlight that and I have the option to add to calendar. That kind of exists outside of Moodle or anything. It's just something that's built into the operating system. I'm not sure about Windows or any other operating systems that you guys may be using, but I don't think that is a feature that's built into Moodle, at least the version that we have.
Thank you, Eric. Next question that we had is, yes, I will be sending the PowerPoint with my Mahalo email to you all, and it will include some of the instructions that I gave, as well as the link to access that Moodle page so that you can then click on login to create your account. Any other questions that anybody has? Thank you for the good feedback. So hopefully I did a good job explaining how to create your account. And I do hope that you all are excited for us to be making this change over to Moodle. One thing that I did not mention that we will be doing for August is that we will have both options available. So just to help ease our attendees into the transition to Moodle, we will offer it on Moodle, but we will also have that Zoom option. So we will be encouraging everybody to create their Moodle account and to start utilizing Moodle as soon as possible. But for those that maybe are still a little weary, we will still have the Zoom registration option. It looks like, okay, not a question, but a kind statement. So I just want to pause and make sure there aren't any other questions that we can help answer, especially while we have Eric live with us. So question, okay, so there is a question asking about our training on the 22nd of July. So that is one of our COVID webinars. We will not be moving the public health action COVID webinars to Moodle. All of our COVID webinars, as of right now, will stay via Zoom, and we will be sending those Zoom links out. So only the regularly scheduled PUI trainings will be moving over to Zoom, to Moodle, moving over to Moodle. Another question is, will the certificates list the continuing eds that you are asking for? And the answer is yes. So the certificate will look identical to ones that we have used in the past. Question in the Q&A box is, do the Moodle webinars expire? And the answer is no. Is that correct, Eric? Do other training centers in the region, do they put an expiration on their trainings?
It really depends on the content. Count on no. If the content becomes incredibly dated that it would be misleading to hold it up, then obviously we'll take it down. We're not going to do that to people. There are some that where the continuing education associated with that course has expired. So then we would remove that course because it makes no sense for, say, something was created specifically for nurse continuing education and it expired on that. Well, people aren't likely going to take that and be happy that they're not actually receiving credit for something that everywhere throughout the training says they're going to get credit for it. So little instances like that are instances where we will remove courses, but on the large for webinars, once a webinar is finished and it has been recorded like this one, it will go into archive status, and it will be, you'll see in the training Huey category. And actually, I was going to interrupt, but I decided not to. All of those tile icons that you saw on Moodle, those we refer to those as categories, because they're categorized by subject. So in your category, in the Public Health Training Huey's category, you'll have all of your listings, or the listings for your course. Some of them will be upcoming live webinars, and some of them will be archived webinars. In the archived webinar case, it's up to you guys how long you want to keep that up there. But you may see if something is live, like a live version of a webinar, that may disappear because the content may have been recreated in an archived version. We've done that with some previous courses. Because we wanted to keep the enrollment list for people who were actually at the live presentation separate from the enrollment list from people who took the archived version. So we would create separate courses for those. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's helpful. Thank you, Eric. So going back to the Q&A box, there's a question that says, is the continuing education credits listed on each webinar info page? So the answer is yes. So it will be listed at the top. Let me Let me share my screen one more time and show you where that's listed. Okay, so again, this is our old Hui webinar from last year. And so if you click on additional information, that's where you will see the duration and then the continuing education information. So this training is approved for 1.5 credit hours. Hopefully that answered your question. And again, how I got there was once I clicked on a training under the introduction section, there's a link to additional information. Click on that, and that will pull up more detailed information on the CEs, the duration, the speaker, and so forth. And how do we access the July 22nd webinar after that date? So referring to, and actually, Maka, do you want to spotlight back onto me? I think we're still seeing Eric. I don't know if I can spotlight myself. Oh, there we go. Okay. So regarding the COVID webinars, and hopefully I'll say this clearly. So all of the COVID related webinars, what we're calling our public health action webinars, as well as all of the Hui webinars will all still be available on our YouTube page. So even though we will have archived versions of the webinars on Moodle, you do not have to go to Moodle to watch them. If you're not interested in getting continuing education credits, you just want to see the content of the webinar, you can just go to YouTube and watch the recordings there. Hopefully that answered your question. Next question is this a paid or free? And so as far as so all of the Hui webinars that are on Moodle will be free. And Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that all trainings on the Western Regions Moodle are free. Is that correct?
That is correct. All the trainings that we currently offer are free.
Okay. Next question that we have is for past webinars that you folks offered, CEUs were given to LSWs, but on that Vaping 101, looks like it doesn't show that it would be offered for social workers. Yes, we will be continuing to offer credits for all 5 areas that we have in the past. I'll take a look at that Vaping 101 just to see, to make sure that it is listed correctly. But yes, we will continue to offer continuing education credits in nursing, dietetics, CSAC, CHES, and social work. I think I got all 5 of them. One more kind of question comment in the chat is if you can share this information. So absolutely. So even if you would like to share this information with your organization or friends that might be interested, I will be sending a link to Moodle along with the link to the recording on our YouTube page, as well as the presentation that I showed in the very beginning. I will put that all into the Mahalo email, and you are more than welcome to share this information out with your organizations or community. Another question is, where do we sign up to receive your notices of upcoming webinars? Directly to our emails. So we are currently still in the process of completing our Training Hui's website, and we are really hoping to get that out by the end of the year, but no promises. So for now, if you are interested in joining our listserv, there's a couple ways of doing that. One is to just email me directly, and let me put my email into the chat box. So there's my email. So you are welcome to email me, and I'm happy to add you to the Training Hui's listserv. Another way of doing that is through if you are registering via Zoom for any of our public health action, so the COVID webinars, in that registration, there is a question if you want to join the Hi-Fi listserv and or if you want to join the WHOIS listserv. So if you are interested, check those boxes and we will get you added. So it looks like some of you are learning about, oh, I see. So yeah, some of you are learning about them secondhand, which is also really nice to hear that our partners are sharing our trainings. But yes, definitely send me an email if you want to join our listserv, or if you are already receiving them. And well, I guess if you're already receiving them, you're already in our listserv. What am I saying? I apologize. So if you are getting it secondhand and then you do register for one of our upcoming COVID trainings via Zoom, then you can check off the box that says that you want to be added to our listserv. Another question that we got is, oh, can you look up trainings by CEUs? That's a question I'm going to defer to Eric.
That is something that we have wanted to be wanted to implement on Moodle. We have not been able to find a way that does that cleanly. We have been on our website trying to curate a list of CEU types and the amount of CEU credits, but that involves us constantly keeping that up to date. So that may not be always up to date, but in Moodle itself, unfortunately, it does not have the ability to sort by CEUs currently, though we are interested in implementing that functionality in the future.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, it looks like another question came in and is asking specifics of the August 28th training. And at this time, we don't have a solid topic and speaker, so I don't really have anything to share regarding that. We are meeting up with the steering committee in the next, at the end of the month to finalize our speaker and topics. The looking forward into the fall, though, we do have our October training scheduled, and in an old WHOI email, you may have seen this, but October 16th is with Dr. Joy Tanji from Chaminade, and she will be tweaking. She was supposed to be our March trainer, and she will be tweaking her training. And then we also rescheduled another training from earlier this year to December, and that is Friday, December 4th. We will be having a training with Pacific Survivor Center, specifically looking at trauma-informed care. But as soon as we have that information for the 28th, I will be sure to send that out to you. A question that came into the chat box is, some of the courses are optional. Which courses are required for MRC work? If I could have you clarify what MRC means. Is this the Medical Reserve
Yeah,
Corps?
probably Medical Reserve Corps.
Yeah.
We aren't directly affiliated with the Medical Reserve Corps. I'm not sure how Monica came upon this. So a number of our courses are cross-listed on another training platform for the public health workforce known as Train, and Train does have a Medical Reserve Corps portal. They call theirs, we call, just like all these terms, categories, portals. So Medical Reserve Corps does have a Train portal that they can highlight courses throughout the Train platform that, again, some of which could forward them out to our Moodle. It's kind of it's a big network. The N in Train stands for network. So that may be where Monica is coming to us from. She may have seen something that does that, but that is outside of the Western Region Public Health Training Center, and also, I assume, the Training Huey.
And thank you to Lindsay, who put in the chat box for Medical Reserve Corps questions. there's an email to a contact that you can reach out to. Question came in. It says, I'm looking at the educational course for substance abuse and I do not see CEUs for CSAC. So my guess is that, let me pull up, is that you went to, within Moodle, you went to substance use, and if you could help clarify, are you asking about a specific training that doesn't offer a CEU in CSAC?
She probably is. If it wasn't affiliate or if it wasn't developed in affiliation with Hawaii, then chances are it doesn't have pre-approved CSAC crediting because that's not an accrediting organization that we um, have much ties with that at this moment. If there is a lot of demand, then definitely we would like to see if we can have as many courses of interest pre-approved for CSAC credit.
So just to clarify, Eric, are you did you say that the Hawaii webinars within the Western region Moodle offer CSAC credits?
Yes, if they, because CSAC, and I was doing a quick Google search and I don't know what CSAC is directly affiliated with. What is CSAC an acronym for?
Sure, it's the substance abuse counselor.
Oh, and is that a nationwide thing? I'm sorry for my knowledge.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, well then, yeah, I'm surprised that that's not an organization that we've had to pre-approve the training, so I can make a note and see if they are interested in pre-approving our course for their credits.
So I just clicked over onto one of the other trainings listed in um, substance abuse, and I think I see maybe what you're looking at. So it looks like I just randomly clicked on the training called Opioid Use, Abuse, and Solutions, and that is not one of the Hawaii trainings. And I can see that there's only CEs for CHES, RDs, and nursing. So yes, I think this would be a good, oh, and actually Heather Lusk, she's from Hawaii. So uh, yeah, I could see why you're wondering why there are no CSAC credits associated with a training like this that many CSACs would benefit from.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions that we can help answer right now? Maka, do you want a spotlight onto me? Okay, it looks like there aren't any more questions coming in. So we will go ahead and wrap up for now. Hopefully you found this session helpful, and I want to say mahalo to Eric for joining us from the University of Arizona to help us out in answering some of these questions. And feel free to reach out to me with any questions that do come up. And if you have any technical issues with the login or creating your login, please email the contact that is listed when creating an account. I look forward to helping you out through all of these changes, and hopefully you will be excited about the quicker response time for your certificates and the evaluation and all of that. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. I will send a mahalo email to all of you with the links to the the recording, to the PowerPoint, and to the Moodle site. So I look forward to having you all join us via Moodle in August. Thank you so much.